Not really. The worksheet says that we're supposed to find some information about this photo.
Did you Google Iwo Jima?
Just a minute. Look at this. Try Wikipedia.
We need to know the who, what, where, when, and why. So what is Iwo Jima all about?
It says that the U.S. was trying to capture Iwo Jima. Wright has led the Bulldogs to a 5-0 start this year. Last year, he broke the NCAA record for total offense, rushing a total of 1,949 yards and passing 975. In his sophomore year, he led the whole nation rushing a total of 1,232 yards and passing 1,168. He's also a multi-sport athlete, lettering in...
I don't think the play will let Brad finish the game.
Hey, Donnie.
Cousin Jake, how things up north? Jake, this is my friend Payne and Jake.
Hey, nice to meet you. We're doing good this season. We're 5-0.
Wait a second, your cousin's a Drake fan?
Yeah, well, there's not one in every family.
Hey, we'll see what you say after the Bulldogs win today.
Whatever.
Hey guys, the game's starting.
I'm heading over to Drake's side. And here's the kickoff. Reporter Pat Oliver.
It appears Bright has broken his ground and will be out indefinitely. This is a serious blow for the Bulldogs and could result in them losing the game or even...
Power from some waves. That's impossible. Let's just Google wave power and see if we can find it.
Look, here's something cool.
Let's say this is a piston with some sort of electric coil wrapped around it and is fastened onto the ocean floor by way of cable. And, this floats on the water. And while the float is moving up and down, let me finish. As the float moves inside the outer coil, it bobs up and down with the outer float and creates electricity. The electricity then goes to the ocean floor and then to shore to be used. That's cool. Hey, look at this. This one has a line of cylinders to run parallel with the waves. The cylindrical parts drive hydraulic rams to the connecting sections, and those in turn drive an electric generator.
A whole bunch of these, 5 it says, line up and work cooperatively to send power through cable systems.
They're killing me. What brings you here? I'm on my way home for my vacation in Italy. And you? I was visiting Pisa. That's where my relatives live. Pisa. I liked Pisa. What was your favorite part? Oh, the Leaning Tower, of course. They could stay for only 40 minutes. Not much time. And they only let 30 people in at a time. But it was incredible. And did you know that in 1589, Galileo dropped 2 balls of different masses to prove that time it takes from object to fall?
Kentucky. I live in Rome and work as a professor there. I am exploring the region and will be going to the Whale Museum. I love history.
Oh, I loved them. I saw the Colosseum and learned all about that gladiator stuff.
The Pantheon is my thing. It used to be a church. It is named after Admiral Doria. And on board we have a life-size statue. And we have 3 swimming pools, 1 for each class. What are the classes? Luxury, first, and tourist. The boat weighs 12,000 tons and was built in Italy 5 years ago in 1951. It is the gem of our cruise fleet, 572 crew, and frankly I feel that Andrea Doria outshines the SS Normandy. And over $1 million in art and furnishings, you won't see anything like it on the water. It is the largest, fastest, and safest boat of its kind.
What time is it, Captain?
It's 11:20. Why aren't you ladies dancing? Which reminds me, I should be in the ballroom. I'm chaperone. Care to come? And would you save me a dance?
It's associations like a brotherhood of sorts. The Chinese call it a tong, and they are responsible for this wonderful festival.
Yeah, I was talking to Peter the other day. He said the Tong Society was responsible for a violent war at control of China's house businesses in the early 1920s and 30s. But today, on the good side, they provide help to Chinese immigrants that may need it. There are now over 30,000 registered Tong Society members.
I wonder what this parade is for.
I don't know. Let's ask these people.
You know what this parade is all about?
It's the Chinese Merchants Association parade. They put on the parade every year for the Mid-Autumn Festival. What's the Mid-Autumn? What are we Chinchi? They want them downstairs. We're setting up for the late edition. Well, this is what we have on Lee Harvey Oswald. He's in jail for shooting John F. Kennedy. He was born October 18, 1939, and he was
and he was a former U.S. Marine. But that's all I have on him. Do you have anything?
I interviewed some people down at the police station and learned that 45 minutes after he shot JFK, he shot a police officer, J.P. Tippit.
Thank you, General.
I have some information from when he was a kid.
Well, what are you waiting for? Tell me.
He was born in New Orleans and moved to New York City. He was a troublesome kid, and when he was 12, he threatened his half-brother's wife with a pocket knife.
Anyone else? Come on, guys, I need more.
I have something on JFK.
What is it?
Well, he was the 35th president. He started in 1961. He was also the second youngest president after Teddy Roosevelt.
Come on, give me something to work with. Everyone knows that.
The Soviet Union wanted to plant missiles in Cuba, but John F. Kennedy stopped them by building a massive blockade of ships around Cuba.
That's good, but what has the Cuban Missile Crisis got to do anything with this?
Well, I'm just looking for possible motives.
Boss, I've heard that Jack Ruby just shot Lee Harvey Oswald, but he's transferred in jail.
What?
Are you serious?
Do any of you know about this Jack Ruby guy?
Well, he's in custody now. I just got off the phone with headquarters and know that he was born March 25th, 1911 in Chicago. He had a troubled childhood and spent lots of time in foster homes.
He was arrested when he... Here's your copy, ma'am.
Charles, are you ready?
We just started. He needs up his actor. I'm done.
We could ask how many kids he had and what their names were.
But he had no kids.
How does he know this stuff? What else about Ray? The rifle he used.
Rifle? Well, he served time in prison for various crimes. He could go that route. He shot being April 4th, 1968. He was born March 10th, 1928. He used the Remington 30-06 rifle. What if we go with that question? Won't the others become suspicious? I mean, does anyone know that?
Charles will.
Well, maybe we should start with some basic questions about Martin, like he was born January 15th, 1929, or that he graduated from high school at age 15.
Most everyone knows that, don't they? What about the photographer of this picture? Coretta Scott King. He was Moneta Sleet Jr. was the first black to win the Pulitzer Prize. Here on the $64,000 question. All the questions pertain to Martin Luther King Jr. And your final question is...
Time with your newscasters Nadia Verduzco and Chevy Chapman.
Hello, I'm Chevy Chapman. Today we're going to Berlin, Germany, where the Berlin Wall has finally come down after over 40 years of the Cold War.
After over 40 years of the Cold War, it sure is nice to see the wall coming down. It's been a long, brutal battle with the USSR. I don't think this country will ever forget some of the horrible things that happened in these past years.
Who could forget the Cuban Missile Crisis, Vietnam, or the Bay of Pigs? There have been too many deaths to count.
But some of us wonder why. What was the point of all this? We're going to Harvard to talk to professors Louis Sanchez and Joe Strecker, teachers at the university.
Professor Sanchez, can you give us a brief summary of why the Cold War even started?
Glad to, Chevy. The Cold War goes all the way back to the end of World War II, when Germany was split in the Allied forces. The Soviets got the east side, and the other three, the U.S., Great Britain, and France, got West Berlin.
So the U.S., France, and Great Britain controlling one side?
That's right, Nadia. But the Soviets also got a lot more of Eastern Europe, including the Baltic states, Hungary, Romania, and more.
But all these countries have their own presidents that can make their own decisions, right?
Not exactly. True, they had their own presidents, but basically they couldn't make any decisions that clashed with the Soviets or their rules. Hungary once tried to rise against the Soviets, but they retaliated by sending tanks into Hungary and snuffing out all hopes of freedom.
So how did the United States end up at war with the Soviets exactly?
Well, after 2 years post-war, arguments started breaking out between the Soviets and the other Allies. The Allies wanted to start reconstruction to make post-war Germany self-sufficient.
And the Soviets didn't want that, right?
I can take this one. They wanted to reconstruct Germany, it's just they wanted to reconstruct it so they could still be in control. Publicly, they stated they were protecting their people from the fascist elements still in the West, paranoia from the war with Hitler.
So the Allies went ahead with the reconstruction of their side in Germany.
And that's when immigration started from East Europe to West, right?
Correct. Many people in Eastern Europe, and especially East Germany, were tired of the Soviets' control.
So they would immigrate illegally to Western Europe before the Germans, West Germany.
But the Soviets didn't like that.
You couldn't be more right. So the Soviets started talking of the German Democratic Republic that governed the Eastern Germany.
Under the direction of the Soviets.
Right. They talked to them about building up a border between East and West Germany to stop this immigration.
They built the Berlin Wall. The Soviets called it the anti-fascist protection rampart, but really it was to prevent illegal immigration and defection.
And the Allies didn't agree with this tactic?
Not at all. See, the U.S. was worried about the communist aspirations the Soviets had, and the Soviets were worried about the capitalist aspirations the U.S. had.
So there was a constant paranoia building between the two powers.
But neither wanted to go into full-out nuclear war. They had both seen what happened in Japan.
So the war was fought through other channels via proxies in other parts of the world with other countries' armies.
Like Vietnam and the Cubans.
It may not have been the same kind of war, but it was still just as bloody and had as many deaths.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, Professor Sanchez. Strecker.
No problem. You're welcome.
Well, we may be celebrating here in America, but that's nothing compared to what's going on in Germany.
That's right. We've been told that people have climbed to the top of the Berlin Wall and started going at it with hammers and chisels.
We're going to our on-the-scene reporter, Ethan Schoenwald, in Berlin.
Hi, Ethan. How's the weather over there in Germany?
It's a bright and shining day here. It seems like the whole country is celebrating the breaking down of the Berlin Wall. The people are just attacking the wall with everything they've got. It's hard to hear over all the cheering and singing that's going on here.
It sounds great.
Well, from what we can see, you've got quite a crowd there behind you.
Yes, it's hard to hear over all the celebrating. Here with me is brother and sister Angel and Azalea von Liechtenstein. What do you guys have to say about all the excitement here in Germany?
After all these years under the tyranny of the Soviets, it's just unbelievable that we're finally free. It's all over the news.
They have been talking on the news about the new Soviet leader, Michael Gorbachev, who really wrote about the possibilities of this happening with his policies.
For those of you back home, Mikhail Gorbachev has been opening up the Soviet Union with his policies of glasnost. All of Germany, as well as other Eastern Bloc countries, have been envisioning making their own decisions and having freedom of speech.
Now, it's time to see what you know. Whoever gets the most questions right at the end of the hour gets a prize. So, first question. What was the name of the group that hijacked the planes?
Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda like biggest troops in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War of 1991. What's Saudi Arabia? It's a country east of Egypt. It has places for holding the hydraulic and safety. It crashed in Pennsylvania.
Good job, Libby. Next question is, how tall were the Twin Towers? Bryce?
110 stories high.
Good job, Bryce. What was the name of who was the leader of Al-Qaeda?
Osama bin Laden.
Yes, but raise your hand next time.
Sorry, Miss Strange.
It's okay. Can someone tell me about himself? Mariana?
He was born in 1957. He was the seventh of 50 brothers and sisters. His father was dedicated Muslim, and he had royal bloodlines. My book says he was born.
Mine says he was from a royal family too.
I'm right.
What? Actually, here's sorry. Actually, he's born into a very wealthy family and used his family's fortunes to help fund Al-Qaeda. Okay, Rihanna, continue.
He was 13 when his father died.
I found 14.
Will you let me finish?
Okay, class, settle down.
Oh, fine.
Can we sing the flock song?
Really not even a rock song?
It's fun.
Okay, class. Rihanna.
Thank you for coming.